Hi, everyone. Welcome to week 3. I just wanted to go through those lessons. So this week is the Change Leader introduction for any new students, but for us, it's a review. And then tutorial number 1 is this week. So that's why I've got leadership skills because of the Change Leader. And then when you skip the tutorial, you play pool with your ping pong ball. So anyway. First, our Avid business. So don't forget that next Tuesday, not tomorrow, but next week, from 4 to 5 is our guest speaker number 1. It will be Pete Glick, who is a helicopter pilot and also teaches how to be a pilot at TVCC. So he will be joining us. That will be awesome. And then I will be sending out the form link today to vote for our Avid t-shirts. We will have that. Okay, no problem. Anyway, we'll have that open just until Thursday so that we can get those finalized and ordered. So with the Change a Leader lesson, it is a review from last quarter, so you guys can take all that stuff that you did last quarter and reuse it. So the first thing you'll do is review the vocabulary and complete the workbook, and then review the 4 essential skills for academic success, which you guys have seen several times. The first project, 6.2, is the essential skills review, and it's the one that looks like this. And you guys were analyzing a take-home writing assignment that was in the course. It's the one about I think it's a political science prompt, writing prompt, and you're just looking at the prompt itself. But because you guys already done this assignment, just find it from quarter 3 and resubmit that. The next one is a choosing your change leader discussion. You guys have already chosen, so you can just put in there again who you chose. And then project 6.3 is the NKSL chart, which looked like this. So you guys are just, again, can submit the one that you already did. But remember that the first part you were just filling out what you know, what the sources were. So for this first project, you're just filling out those 2 sections. You guys have it complete, so it's fine to just go ahead and turn in the whole thing. You'll just turn it in twice. So once for project 6.3, and then again in 6.4, the finishing the L section. There is a charting the text assignment that you guys also did last quarter. I changed it a little, but it looked like this, remember? Where you had to look at the different paragraphs and say what the author was doing using these action verbs, the doing verbs, analyzing each of those paragraphs. So again, turning that back in. Like I said, 6.4, the second 6.4 is finishing that L section of your NKSL chart. And then your change leader discussion. This one was just what you've learned so far. And then project 6.5 is evaluating websites, which you have done, which is nice that you guys have already done this. So it's mainly a review for the new Avid students that haven't done any of this stuff with the change leader. So that's why it's all here. So this one was the one where you looked at different websites to figure out if it was a reliable source. And you kind of went through those steps and answered each of those questions about the website. You either did this for 1 or 2 websites. So again, you can also resubmit the assignment that you've already completed. So that stuff will be super easy for you guys since you've already done all that work. The only thing that will be new then for you guys is project 6.6. So in the weeks to come, you'll actually be writing that paper on the change leader. All of that work has not been for nothing. So it'll be a 500 to 750 word in 500 to 750 words, sorry. Describe who your change leader is, what they did, and what influenced their work. Include information on their home, educational, political, cultural, and religious upbringing and influences. And then we'll talk about the formatting later. So what you're going to be doing is figuring out and finding either a full text book, just a regular, chapter book type book, or multiple articles to read so that you have enough information to write your paper. So once you've made your selection, you'll include a link to the information in the text box to, so I can look at it and make sure it's okay. And you can use an online book if you're choosing to use a book, or you can check it. Well, we can't really check out a book right now from the local library. And you don't need to purchase a book unless you really wanted to, or something like you really liked your change leader or something. But there's plenty of online stuff that's free. So that's all you're doing for that, is just figuring out either a textbook that you're going to use or several articles that you're going to use in submitting those. And if you guys do have questions on that, just let me know. So here's the timeline for your change leader paper, just so you know how it's going to look this quarter. So week 3 is, like I said, we're selecting that full length text and beginning reading. Weeks 4 and 5, you'll read some more. Week 6, most of your reading will be done, so you'll update charting your text, your source lists, the 3-part source integration, all of those documents that you've already started. And then week 7, you write your paper and do a peer review. And week 8, you'll revise your paper and submit for final grading. So just, a heads up that that's what we'll be working on this quarter. As far as your tutorials, we've broken them up into pieces. So here is the suggested timeline. So at the beginning of the week, you decide on your point of confusion question. And I'll show you the choices here in a minute. You'll fill out your pre-work inquiry, that top part of the TRF, and submit that for grading. And then choose a tutorial option and schedule it. So I'll show you, again, I'll show you those two things here in a minute. And then in the middle of the week, you complete your tutorial. And then at the end of the week, you fill out your summary on your TRF and submit the whole thing again for grading. So you're going to be submitting your TRF twice, once at the beginning of the week, once at the end of the week. We kind of split it up to hopefully make it a little bit easier. And this way you can also get partial points too for the different sections. If you complete your tutorial or something. So just a review for the 10-step tutorial process. Remember that normally you take notes in class and you identify that area of confusion and fill out the pre-work inquiry on the TRF. During a tutorial, group members you start off doing your speech at the beginning, going through that pre-work inquiry TRF, and then group members ask questions. Hopefully from Costa's questioning and thinking in those upper levels, but not always. It doesn't always work out that way, but just guiding the presenter to think critically about his or her question and help them to think about the steps and or processes that they used. And it says record it on the board, but instead you'd probably record it on your TRF. And then afterwards, you would write a reflection. This is like the face-to-face version, and that's why it's saying, everybody takes notes and everyone writes a reflection and all of that, but we don't do it in that way. But the same basic steps are there for us. You guys already know how to fill out the pre-work inquiry on the TRF, so remember that you fill out all of the different sections, and this whole part is that pre-work inquiry that you're filling out. Don't forget that that there is always vocabulary that usually it's meant for the audience, to make sure that they understand what you're talking about. And then the critical thinking is just thinking about how you would go about answering that question. And then the process and steps is like a summary of this. The critical thinking is often a diagram, it's a, bubble map, it's something like that. And then the process and steps is just the written out steps. So that's how those two are. And then your refined question, your more specific question from your original. So this is your actual point of confusion question. There's lots of stuff on our announcement that says Avid Resources that talks about more information about tutorials, and there's examples and stuff, of course. You guys know because we've been doing this for so long. So here's what we've done this quarter. So again, you can choose an exam or a checkpoint question for your point of confusion question for your TRF, or you can use the SAT list or the life skills questions. So there's 3 different choices that you can find a question for your TRF. Then there are also 3 options to complete your tutorial. So you can do the old way, you can schedule it with 2 or more classmates, hopefully. Or you can do it completely on Campfire. So if you're doing it on Campfire, what you're going to do is record yourself at the beginning of the week going through your pre-work inquiry. Then you're going to reply to 2 of your classmates, at least 2 if you can. I mean, if you can do more, that would be awesome, because remember that if this is how somebody's choosing to do a tutorial, they're going to need people to reply to make this work. So if you can reply to your classmates with at least 2 questions, trying to think of those upper level COSTAS questions and helping guide them to finding their answer. Like I said, if you can ask more than 2 questions, that would be awesome, because it will really help that person. And then you should reply to all of the questions that are asked on your TRF recording, because then that helps you to be able to write your summary. So this Campfire will be probably be a little bit more interactive than the last 2. And then you would write your summary based on the questions that were asked and answered. And then you would submit your completed TRF. Or I'll still have tutorial time this week on Friday morning at 10 a.m. I'm trying just the one time because the afternoon one has not been successful. So if we need to, change that or reschedule, schedule a different time or whatever, then we can figure that out. But that you can complete your tutorial. So hopefully that makes things a lot easier for you guys and also more meaningful. So I'm going to postpone the scavenger hunt for another time. It won't be nearly as fun if we're doing it together. So we're going to skip this for today. As far as the resources for this week, it's all the scholarship cheat sheet, the FastWeb stuff, a bunch of scholarship stuff, but also the tutorials. There's an explanation form, how to do tutorials, video examples. There's COSTAS questioning, subject-based questions that you can ask if participant, the one asking questions. There's 2 of those. Since you guys are all recording watching students today, we're gonna, like I said, we'll just skip this. So just go ahead and say that. Just say that you watched the recording, and that we'll do the scavenger hunt at a different time. So if you guys have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, have a great day. I hope you're all staying healthy and sane and not, going crazy. My recommendation would be, maybe this is what we should make as the requirement. Find something fun to do that's not school related every day to try to, bring your brain back into the sanity section. I know it's the quarantine stuff is getting old and that kind of stuff. So just try to find something that is fun, or makes you smile at least every day to try to kind of cope with this a little better. Anyway, have a great day, and I will talk to you later.